Part 392. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3911. Tianshan Snow Lotus. Such a large Tianshan Snow Lotus. Good guy. This is going to make a fortune again. Boy Fang Fan. Go up and pick. This is a good thing. Hard to see from the outside. One Tianshan Snow Lotus can create a Snow Lotus body. Anyone, it's definitely no problem to sell 1,000 or 800 pieces of the God Stone. It's all over the mountains and plains. I guess there are tens of thousands of flowers, right? 18 million fragments of the Divine Stone. Gah! Quack quack. While Bai Biao was talking, he couldn't help but let out terrifying laughter like ducks. The voice became more and more magical. Fang Fan rubbed his forehead, feeling a headache at the moment. This guy just likes to be impulsive. Whenever something happens, my heart is always so restless. Why? Calm down. None of this is a big deal. Why do you have to be so entangled? Why? Let's take it easy, shall we? Stop talking nonsense. This wave, do you really feel restless? The more I think about it, the more this mentality flutters. It is more than words. Steady is the real meaning. Single Tianshan Snow Lotus is really expensive. Because there is an extreme shortage in the market, the rarest things are the most expensive. This is true. But if you transport so many Tianshan Snow Lotus to the market, how can you maintain its rarity? Besides, this Snow Lotus body has been forged too much, so it's not that valuable. The value of the tens of thousands of Snow Lotuses in Tianshan is at most only 1/10 of 8 million. Fang Fan glanced forward, and then said very calmly. From his point of view, this is particularly appropriate. That's the truth, what more is there to say? At the moment, this mind must be stabilized. The overall rhythm completely collapsed. Basically not a big problem. In all aspects, the situation can be stabilized for a while. That's fine, that's actually pretty good. In all aspects, it is as stable as Mount Tai. 1/10. That's 1.8 million. That's a lot. Quick. Picking. How come everyone has become so arrogant now? The 1.8 million fragments of the sacred stone are just in front of you, are you not tempted now? Good guy, what do you all look like now? It's too exciting, isn't it? The yelling sounded across the board, and the speed of his lips murmuring was in place when he spoke. This kind of thinking is now flying all over the place. Of course, everyone would naturally not obey Bai Biao's order, and they all looked at Fang Fan at this moment. To move, Fang Fan needs to give orders. Go. Speed up. After picking these Tianshan Snow Lotus, leave quickly. The main purpose is to find the exquisite palace made of the sacred stone. Fang Fan's eyes flickered slightly, and this was what he was thinking about. This Tianshan Snow Lotus is of course priceless, but if there are so many Tianshan Snow Lotuses that want to replace them with God Stone fragments or God Stones, it will take some time to plan. I don't know how long this time is. What Fang Fan needs is a quick decision. With all the staff mobilized, even the tens of thousands of Snow Lotuses in Tianshan can be picked extremely fast. Seeing that the blossoming Tianshan Snow Lotus had entered the storage ring, Bai Biao looked satisfied. These blossoms are all thousands of fragments of the Divine Stone. Comfortable. Very comfortable. For Bai Biao, the present is definitely the happiest time. I am doing the happiest thing right now. Happy. Is this Tianshan Snow Lotus so big? It's 10 times the size of an ordinary Tianshan Snow Lotus. Cool. This is the ancestor of Tianshan Snow Lotus. Good guy, it's taking off directly. Stimulate. This one is absolutely not for sale without a piece of the 10,000 god stone. Hey! The one made of this giant Tianshan snow lotus is not the body of an ordinary snow lotus. It has to be the divine body of a snow lotus. Bai Piao muttered, while talking, the brilliance in his eyes flickered more and more. The excitement in this heart fluttered across the board at the moment. It is more than words. Once the stimulation is in place, it will be as stable as Mount Tai. Bai Piao grabbed the giant Tianshan snow lotus and was about to pull it out. Just after trying hard, there is no response. What rhythm is this? Is it so difficult to pull out? Damn it! Continue. I don't believe it anymore. Son of a bitch. Keep working hard. Bai Piao gritted her teeth while talking, and then gradually used all her strength to feed. Immediately afterwards, the giant iceberg snow lotus was pulled out from the soil little by little. As the soil below turned a little bit, it seemed that the whole snow mountain trembled slightly. Stop. Don't touch my head. Unnecessarily, there were bursts of shouts suddenly, and then the world in front of me was completely analyzed and cleaned up. All kinds of shocks swept in place, and the thoughts in the depths of the eyes were all expressed without words. The current rhythm is gradually becoming chaotic. The footsteps are a little swaying. Immediately afterwards, the whole mountain swayed. Bai Piao held the giant iceberg snow lotus in his hand, and was too frightened to move. Grass. What rhythm is this? Why does it feel wrong? This mentality is broken. Damn it. Damn thing. How the hell do you play this? Asshole. All assholes. There are monsters. There are monsters. There is a monster here. Boy Fang Fan. Come and help me. Grass. I can't move. Fang Fan boy. Where are you? You boy, don't abandon me. Boy Fang Fan. Encountering this kind of situation for the first time, Bai Piao was also confused. At this moment, his lips were trembling, and while speaking, he swallowed saliva frantically. The impatience is now exploding in full force, as if it wants to completely wipe out everything in front of it. For a moment, his thoughts became completely chaotic. It is more than words. When everything is destroyed, no one else can grasp it. The crazy sense of oppression suppressed everyone to death. Everyone come down. This is not a snow mountain. This is the back of a monster. It actually has such a large volume. When you lie down, it's really as magnificent as a mountain. And I don't know how long I've been lying here, the soil accumulated on my back can actually breed so many Tianshan snow lotus by sucking the spiritual power in his body. If it wasn't for waking him up at this moment, this guy might really fall asleep. Fang Fan licked his lips, his eyes flickering. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3912. This situation is a bit strange. Fang Fan's eyes flickered, and his thoughts gradually fluttered in his mind. Boom. Bang bang bang. The giant beast gradually got up, and then there was a huge commotion, and everything around it shook crazily. This giant beast can create a huge pit if it steps on it. Turn over and crush countless creatures to death. Boom. Bang bang bang. Immediately, the surrounding flowers, plants, and trees were all shaken, and the scene of violent trembling was swept across at a glance, and they were immediately confused on the spot. Exciting, so exciting. Bai Piao, who was the chief culprit of this matter, also seemed a little confused at the moment. He looked at all this in shock, and then couldn't help but swallowed saliva frantically. How so? How did it become like this? Crazy. Everyone is going crazy. Damn it. What the hell is this place? Grass. I want to go back. I can't stay in this ghost place any longer. WTF? Ah. It's obviously a mountain. Why did it turn into a monster? Speaking of which, where did such a big monster come from? Why? What a fantasy. There are still so many snow lotuses in Tianshan that haven't been picked yet. It's all good now, it's all wasted. Why? What a pity. What a pity. Who can bear this torment? You can't do this. Absolutely can't go on like this. Everything is messed up. Boy Fang Fan. Can this giant monster fight against it? What kind of realm is this guy? Bai Piao came to Fang Fan's side, and while talking, his lips couldn't help trembling. At this moment, his face was blank, his eyes flickered, and his thoughts were completely confused. I want to say something right now, but I feel that many words are stuck in my throat and I can't get out. Difficult to go to the blue sky. Messy rhythm followed by total chaos. What happens next is really dangerous. I haven't seen how strong this monster's attack power is yet, but its defense power, it's really astonishing. The outer shell of the turtle is his best armor. It can't be pierced at all. Fang Fan glanced forward. At this moment Lena, Kathy, and Shen Qiu, who were in the weak demigod state, had already rushed up, and they all showed their fighting power in the first place. But from the current point of view, it doesn't make much sense. The defensive power of this giant beast is too strong. Hans. Let the Gothic Gatling Legion take action. Quick battle. Pick up the horsepower and shoot in full force. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and there seemed to be an extremely strong sense of destruction when he spoke. 12 quasi-demigod Goth Gatling machine gunners gathered together, and immediately began to shoot indiscriminately. The current rhythm gradually became crazy, with an extremely strong sense of oppression. In minutes, tens of thousands of bullets poured out. And every bullet has the power of a quasi-demigod. The giant beast opened its huge head, and there was a look of confusion in its eyes. At this moment, it was more or less moved, and then it shrank its chest, shrinking its head inside so that it could not come out. Terrified. Scared. I felt an inexplicable tug in my heart. After the giant beast withdrew its body, the bullet hit his turtle shell, so naturally it couldn't cause any damage. The scene returned to the way it was at the beginning, which looked quite awkward. The situation swept through again. Nothing. It feels like I'm playing all the time. The flashy waves made the mentality flutter in an all-round way. Consciousness collapsed, rhythm collapsed. Roar. The giant beast was also enraged at the moment. Well done, woke him up. These damn bastards should all be punished. Boom. Bang bang bang. The heavy body of the giant beast began to move forward little by little, and the ground in front of it began to collapse little by little following the cracks. The sense of the scene at the moment is extremely strong. For a while, my thoughts were messed up, my expression was confused, and I didn't know how to deal with myself at all. Grass. The big turtle stretched out its butt. Fang Fan boy. This big turtle is real. The big turtle is coming. Good guy. This big turtle is trying to kill us all. Boy Fang Fan. Muttering shouts followed, and Bai Piao's voice invaded. This guy is exactly the kind of guy who doesn't think it's a big deal to watch the excitement. When encountering this kind of thing, I can't help it in my heart, so I will follow it more or less. The rhythm is very clear. Roar. You are the turtle. Your family are turtles. This seat is the mythical beast Suan Wu. Roar. The giant beast roared suddenly, and then hurriedly justified its name. It can be seen that this giant beast seems to take this aspect seriously. For a while, he didn't want others to tarnish his reputation. Speaking of it this way, this guy can also communicate with him. Your Excellency Suan Wu. We do not intend to offend. We thought it was a giant mountain, and there are many unknown Tianshan snow lotus growing on the giant mountain, so we are going to pick a wave. But now, it doesn't look like this at all, so naturally we won't follow suit. I really don't know, this huge mountain was shaped by your stalwart body. If we knew this in advance, we would never have come to bother us. Please calm down the storm. Fang Fan soared into the air, then looked at the giant beast Suan Wuo, and said sincerely. If it's just a misunderstanding, there's really no need to continue entanglement. Roar. There is nothing so cheap in this world. You disturbed my sleep. Originally, I was able to advance as soon as I woke up, but now I'm fine, and I was interrupted by you all. You have to pay the price. Pay the price. This seat will turn all of you into nourishment. Roar. The giant beast Suan Wuo seemed very tyrannical, and he couldn't listen to anything at the moment, only thinking about continuing to attack. There was a murderous look in those eyes, as if he wanted to wipe everything in front of him silently. Fang Fan fell silent. He also wants to live in peace, but it's hard to do. Even so, there is no choice. Your Excellency Suan Wuo, I admit that your defense is extremely strong, and it is indeed difficult for ordinary attacks to have any impact on you. But what deviates from your defense is that your attack power is very limited. It's hard for you to kill us all in a short time. And if you reveal any flaws during this process, you will only face a dead end. Have you thought about that? Do you want to keep on killing? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3913. What Fang Fan said was actually the truth. As soon as this remark came out, the Suan Wuo monster naturally listened to it. For a while, he was also thinking, as if weighing the pros and cons. If you can't grasp many things in it, it is easy to go wrong. Once the rhythm is messed up, the problem will be big in all aspects. Ideology must be followed by a comprehensive collapse, and there must be no slack in the moment. Is it just for today? No. Absolutely not. The giant beast Suan Wuo's eyes turned around. Let's forget it, he couldn't bear it in his heart. Who just pulled the hair off my head? Hand over that person to me. This matter is over. If not, fight to the death. You all don't want to leave. Roar. The giant beast Suan Wuo gritted his teeth, and then continued to roar. After all, his requirements were lowered a lot. Relatively speaking, it feels like that. In terms of ideology, it can also collapse in an all-round way. It sounds like that. It's just that when I feel the position, I feel a little bit uncomfortable. There is a problem, a big problem. Who is this guy? What are you looking at me for? Don't look at me. Good guy. It has nothing to do with me. What do you mean by that? Good guy. Don't just plant the blame on me when you run into anything. Ah. I'm wronged, okay. Do you still have a heart? It can't be done like this. You don't want to send me out to keep me safe, do you? Boy Fang Fan. You kid has something to say. Why? Don't say a word, okay. Why do you have to be mysterious? I can't take it anymore. We can't do this. Really can't do this. Bai Piao gritted his teeth, and the corners of his mouth twitched continuously. While talking, the black lines on his forehead became more and more numerous. That giant Suan Wuo is not a fool either. Soon, he glanced at Bai Piao. It's you. It's you. The first bastard I saw when I woke up was you. My hair is already sparse. You bastard has pulled out so much hair. Damn. Damn. This seat and you are irreconcilable. This seat must torture you well. The giant beast Suanweo became mad again, and then crazily charged towards Fang Fan's location, with flashes of brilliance flickering in his eyes, as if he wanted to kill everything in front of him. Such a crazy heart is suddenly bursting into place. Make everyone tremble. Stimulate. There is indeed a vague sense of excitement sweeping over at the moment. Then I didn't know what to say at all. The giant beast Suanweo came for Bai Biao. Can your defense hold up? Fang Fan glanced at Bai Biao. In Fang Fan's impression, Bai Biao's defense had always been a bug. To put it bluntly, Yuqiang Hung Chiang. Anyway, after fighting so many times, he is still alive and kicking. Seeing Fang Fan's eyes, Bai Biao's heart suddenly trembled. Good guy. Something is wrong. Something is really wrong. This kid has a strange idea in his heart. This kid definitely wants to do something. Bastard. Hold on to the rhythm. Don't do all this fancy stuff. What the hell, who can resist this? Boy Fang Fan, you don't really want to hand me over to do business, do you? Fang Fan boy, my defense is not good. I can't stand it. No matter how strong my defense is, it's useless. Fang Fan boy, don't you see clearly the situation now? If this giant tortoise crushes me, how the hell will I be able to turn over? Day. At that time, I can't stand it at that time. At that time, he will be killed in minutes. To be precise, it will be a relief to die when the time comes. Boy Fang Fan, you should throw me into the small world of Shushan Pavilion. Why? Let me go find my Yaya. It's too dangerous outside. Bai Biao's nonsense is always the most mumbling, endless. It sounds like it is quite useful, but in fact, after a careful taste, I found that it is basically nonsense. Nonsense. The words followed one sentence after another. His whole brain buzzed and trembled. Consciousness is completely confused. Okay. I didn't even say I would send you out. What's the hurry? It's not the last moment yet. There is still a lot of power. In the end, if you really can't hold it anymore, let's talk. Fang Fan nodded while talking. Bai Biao was stunned for a moment, then nodded subconsciously. But soon, he also discovered some of the differences. This rhythm, isn't right? What do you mean? Boy Fang Fan, I don't quite understand it. Good on. Fang Fan boy, don't frighten me, okay? We can still keep talking, right? Worrying. You mean, if you can't hold on anymore, you still have to hand me over. Fang Fan boy, how many years of brotherhood have there been between us? Fang Fan boy, you can't do such a thing that makes your loved ones hurt your enemies. Fang Fan, brothers are like brothers. Boy Fang Fan. Fang Fan inexplicably felt his brain tremble all the time. Immediately, dizziness followed. Good guy, can you still do it? But if you keep your pace, it won't be like this. What a mess, why did it come to this? Fang Fan was just talking casually. Forget it if you take it seriously, who will show you such an excited look? Not so. Fang Fan rubbed his swollen and painful head, and now he really has a headache. It's a mess, I don't know what to say. Chaos. 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 Bales. Let the destroyer artillery corps take action. Set up the cannon. Give me a direct bombardment at this guy's ass. At the same time, all the Gothic Gatling machine gunners also assist in the attack. Lena, Shenxiu, and Kathy. You three weak demigods are attacking. The rest of the legion, press me up. No matter how hard this turtle shell is, it must be broken. Humph. I still don't believe it. How hard can it be? Fang Fan squinted his eyes, his eyes flashed with infinite fighting spirit. Once the 2000mm Mi-Shen cannon is set up, the scene will be in full swing. The giant beast Suanwu blinked his slightly ignorant eyes. Looking at the attacking posture around him at this moment, he also became vigilant for a while. In this case, if the weakness is really caught, it may really be defeated directly. It's too dangerous. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 3914. The giant beast Suanwu is very confident in its own defense power, but its own attack power is relatively lacking. In fact, his more effective attack method is to use his huge body to oppress others. One press, one accurate. At that time, I can't even climb up. These methods have no effect on me. Even if you have a small skill, you dare to do it with an axe. The giant beast Suanwu showed a smug expression on his face. Looking at it from a certain angle, he actually does have such unruly capital. The tyranny of the whole body and mind is in place, and the endless brilliance in the eyes flickers wildly, as if to cut everything in front of him clean. Such a heart, let alone talk to anyone. It feels strangely real right now. The rhythm is there, the consciousness is there, and the others are not, so naturally the problem is not big. Everything is fully established. Emission. Following Bayless' order, the 2000mm demigod cannon began to stir. A wisp of blue smoke immediately followed by the scene in front of me being ignited like a shattering rod, and everything was completely extinguished. The current scene looks like an inexplicable tremor. Stimulate. Excitingly don't want it? Cough. Cough cough cough. What the hell? It hurts to death. So powerful. Hiss. Hiss hiss. Is it still range damage? I blocked the left and the right and didn't block it? It hurts me to death. Damn it. The giant beast Suanwu muttered, and then he couldn't help but growl in place, and the posture of gnashing his teeth was fully displayed, and the sound of inhaling was particularly real. The more the rhythm of the moment is revealed, the more real it becomes. It is more than words. It's good to be fully stable now. If it can't be stabilized, it will be completely bad. Again. The giant beast Suanwu shook its huge head, and just became a little more sober. At this moment, when he saw the crazy shells bombarding him again, the tyrannical look on his face gathered in an all-round way. Damn it! What is this all about? Mess and go, all followed. How can I bear this? Wouldn't you be hanged and beaten if you went up? I will destroy your mysterious weapon first. The giant beast Suanwu roared, and then rushed over directly, with murderous aura in its eyes. Seeing the giant beast Suanwu getting closer and closer, all the soldiers under Fang Fan's command were also ready for a full-scale confrontation. At the moment, ready to explode at any time. At this moment, the giant beast Suanwu suddenly stopped. Is this the breath of the ancestor god? How? Ancestor god, is the ancestor god you? The giant beast Suanwu was suddenly confused at this moment, and while talking, the trembling range of his body also increased in an all-round way. Immediately, he couldn't help shouting, and from time to time, he even mentioned a few words about the existence of ancestor gods. The current state seems to be very strange. At least at the moment it looks amazing. This rhythm is completely chaotic. Consciousness flutters, and everything is silent. The infinite brilliance flickered in the eyes, and the sound of breathing was extremely rapid. Fang Fan froze on the spot, then scanned the surrounding area, but found nothing. There is something wrong with the designated brain of this giant Suanwu, right? Otherwise, what kind of nonsense is this talking about? Muttering, still following endlessly. The rhythm is chaotic and messy. Continuously, What is this going to do? In the end, wouldn't it still be a total collapse? When the crash comes to a head, it will all come to an end. Such an idea, let alone tell anyone. Immediately follow dumbfounded. I was stunned on the spot, my thoughts were in a mess. Owner. He's looking for me. At this time, a group of purple-red fireworks suddenly jumped in front of Fang Fan, and the god of Doer controlled the body of flames to jump up in front of Fang Fan, and explained next to him. Looking for you. You are his ancestor god. Acquaintance between you. Fang Fan opened his mouth, his eyes flickered at this moment, his thoughts were in a mess, he didn't know what to say at all. Very messy. I don't know him. But I seem to have been doing sacrifices to the totem gods of the Suanwiu tribe for a period of time thousands of years ago. It seems that there is such a thing. Hey. It's been so long, I can't remember clearly. I just remember that there seems to be such a thing. The flaming body of the god of Dura trembled slightly, and he was not very sure at the moment. Thousands of years ago. Fang Fan felt dizzy when he heard this counting unit. As long as you are happy. These chaotic rhythms, it is also time to slowly follow the exit. Otherwise, if it continues like this, who can stand it? Mess, chaos to the extreme. Fang Fan rubbed his slightly swollen head, feeling quite speechless at the moment. Right now I don't know what to say. Go and try. Let's see if we can stabilize this giant Suanwiu. It's best if you can stabilize it. If you can't stabilize, you can only spend a little effort to kill. You can't keep him entangled here. It's a waste of time. I don't know how many days this relic of God can be opened. It's all wasted here, it's not appropriate. Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then let out a mouthful of foul air. There are thousands of thoughts, and the thoughts are gradually flying. Obey master. I'll do it now. The purple-red fireworks trembled, and then came the voice of the god of doom. This is the soul of the god of Dura that Fang Fan once subdued in the so-called True God Cave. Along the way, I got a lot of help. After all, the predecessor of the god of disaster is indeed the true god of the domain of gods. Even if he has been asleep for tens of millions of years and his memory has gone wrong, the things he remembers are still very important to Fang Fan at this moment. Ancestral God. Your Majesty the Ancestral God. Ancestral God. Roar. Ho 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 ho. The giant beast Suanwiu was scurrying around violently, and the excitement couldn't be more exciting. This is a spiritual pillar, but also a spiritual belief. Sometimes these things are imprinted in the bones. The irritable monster Suanwiu suddenly saw the purple-red fireworks floating in front of his eyes. Suddenly, he stopped restless, his body stopped on the spot, and his whole body was in a kind of extreme bewilderment. His lips were trembling at the moment, completely unaware it's time to say something. Just looking at it like this at the moment, and then he kept smacking his lips, and his body and mind were in an extreme disorder. The aura under the crown of the ancestor god came from this group of fireworks. But what can a ball of fireworks represent? This group of fireworks once followed the ancestral god's Myangxia, so it was contaminated with the ancestral god's Myangxia's breath. The giant beast Suanwiu shook the giant shell on his body, and the more he thought about it, the more confused he became. It's all a mess, and it's getting more and more messy. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3915. I am the god of Doer. The god of Doer controlled the purple-red fireworks, and immediately showed his identity directly. At a time like this, there is no need to keep hiding. Anyway, it's come to this point, and that's about it. In all aspects, there is no need to follow the involvement. Just keep the tempo steady. God of Doer. There was a hint of confusion in the huge pupils of the giant Suanwiu. but in an instant, he suddenly became excited with excitement. God of Viewer. It is the God of Viewer. It's him, it's him. It is the existence that I have been thinking about. At this moment, all the turbulent hearts in my heart trembled in place, my thoughts fluttered in an all-round way, and the range of my lips became larger. The excitement is inexplicable, the surprise is inexplicable. It is completely difficult to contain the passion in my heart now. It's the ancestor God. It is you, the ancestor God. It has been recorded in family history that the ancestor God of our Suanwu lineage is the God of saving evil. You are the supreme true God ruled by the God of disaster. Ancestral God. I've been looking for you for too long. Ancestral God. The giant beast Suanwu seemed extremely excited at the moment. While talking, he rushed towards the flame body of the God of Viewer excitedly, then lowered his head, and followed it with a rustle. The excitement is hard to express in words. The Suanwu clan, how is it now? In my impression, aren't you in God's domain? How did you fall down? The Suanwu clan, what happened? The God of Doer was silent, and then asked directly. There is no need to hide it now, just ask the matter clearly in one step. Ancestral God. I don't know very well either. I just know that I'm here after I made my voice. As for the Suanwu clan, it seems that they suffered endless misfortunes when the sky changed, and they all died. This is also a memory in the inheritance. As for the rest, I don't know. Ancestral God. I want to return to God's domain. I want to revive the glory of my Suanwu clan. Ancestor God, can you take me back? I want to go back, I want to go back. It is my responsibility. These were constant vibrations in my head that never went away. Ancestor God. A muttering sound followed, and all kinds of thoughts were instantly confused in my mind, and the feeling was in place, and everything was silent. The giant beast Suanwu looked really crazy before, but now it looks like a well-behaved little pet. In front of the ancestor God, how dare he be presumptuous? In Os memory inheritance, the ancestor God is the sky. The kind of disobedience that will undoubtedly lead to death. This time, thoughts swirled in my mind suddenly, and for a while, the rhythm followed the oppression in place, and the whole person fell into a kind of extreme hesitation. For a while, I really couldn't grasp it. Go back, I want to go back too. But for the time being, can't do it. Need to wait for a while. This kind of thing can't be rushed, and it can't be rushed. The flame body of God of Viewer trembled slightly, then shook his head silently. All kinds of anxious thoughts flashed wildly in his mind, and his thoughts were indeed a little dull for a while. Ancestor God, how did you become a flame? Ancestor God, where's your stalwart body? Ancestor God, in my memory inheritance, you don't look like this. The giant beast Suanwu raised a crucial question, and his eyes flickered as he spoke. The gods of the past have fought, and my body has been destroyed. Now it's just a wisp of remnant soul left. He he. He he he. The God of Viewer gave a miserable smile. Ancestor God. You. Ancestral God. I want to reshape the divine body for you. My lord, what do you want me to do? Your Majesty the ancestral God, only you are strong and fierce, we, our Suanwu clan have hope. If you hadn't had an accident in the past, how could my Suanwu clan have suffered such a calamity? Ancestral God. Tiank, will definitely chase after him to the end. The name of the giant Suanwu is Tiank, and it looks very domineering. Now all you have to do is stop fighting. Stop fighting with my master. It was all a misunderstanding before. It's time for this misunderstanding to end. The God of Viewer began to enter the theme. This time he showed up for the same purpose. Owner. Your master. Under the crown of the ancestor god, who is qualified to be your master? My lord, have you been persecuted? My lord, are they the ones who persecuted you? My lord, I will kill them. Kill! 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 The giant beast Suanwu suddenly became agitated. He absolutely cannot allow his ancestor god to be in any danger. At this moment, the rage in my heart swept to the extreme, and there was endless killing intent in my eyes. As I was talking, I was about to launch a full-scale attack in Fang Fan's direction. If it was just a preliminary tentative attack before, now it is a full-scale attack. Now, what is there to tolerate? Isn't every minute a bloody battle to the end? That kind of extreme madness is virtually terrifying. Stop. What you do? Tiank. Do you dare to do anything to my master? Do you still recognize me as the ancestor god? Do you think that I have lost my divine body and am no longer able to order you? Snort. If you really think so, just say it straight. The cold snort swept across, deep in the eyes, all kinds of oppressive forces swept in place, and the sudden tingling gradually intensified. Everything was spoken without saying a word. The voice of the god of doer was directly instilled into the mind of the giant beast Suanwu, and the giant beast Suanwu couldn't help hesitating. At the moment, his face is still full of unwillingness, and the gesture of gnashing his teeth is followed by a full-scale gathering. Such a crazy heart, let alone tell anyone. At the moment, this gesture is too appropriate. That's pretty much it. Basically it's all fixed. Your Majesty the ancestral god. You are a true god. How can you submit to the hands of mortals? No. Absolutely not. A sense of excitement swept across the board, and the anxiety in the depths of my heart was gradually suppressed. For a while, I was addicted to it and couldn't extricate myself. Seeing the pressure of this monster Suanwu, if you don't explain this matter clearly, I'm afraid the knot in your heart really won't be able to be untied. The idol who has been thinking about it for so many years naturally cannot have any accidents. Here's the bottom line. This is the bottom line that cannot be crossed. He. Who said my master is a mortal body? Master is the same as me, only temporarily lost his divine body. The master used to be the supreme god king of God's domain. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3916. The god of viewers started to talk a lot. The guy wasn't like this before. In the past, this guy has always been very rhythmic and measured. At least, don't talk so blindly. Dare to say such unfounded words. Maybe it's because he has been with Fang Fan for too long, seeing that guy Bai Biao talking nonsense every day. Gradually, he also learned a little bit. And then it evolved into what it is now. Fang Fan fell silent. What he has to do now is to support the god of viewer, not to stumbling him. Everything is developing in a more favorable direction. It's nothing special. He used to be a god king. How is this possible? Ancestor god, you were not deceived by him, were you? God ancestor, otherwise I'd better rescue you. He can't be the real god. How can there be so many true gods who have lost their god bodies? It's almost time for one or two to appear. There are so many more. Fake. It must be fake. Ancestral god. You have been deceived. Ancestral god. The giant beast Suanwu gritted his teeth, and then couldn't help but make his own complaints from the side. The god of viewer controlled his flame body to tremble slightly in the air, and then moved towards Fang Fan's position. Immediately afterwards, Fang Fan heard a sound transmission. Fang Fan nodded silently. The majesty of the rage god. Fang Fan murmured softly, if he was acting, he still had to do a full set. Not much else to say, just these routines. His side is still as stable as Mount Tai, basically everything. The overall situation is still tense. Overall, it's not a big problem. Formalization can also be fully stabilized. This is the most important thing. Thousands of thoughts, confused consciousness, everything is silent. It does feel a little bit exciting right now. For a time, the feeling is quite comfortable. True God, God's breath. Really? Is it true? Is he really the God King? This. Then didn't I attack the God King just now? Crazy. I'm really crazy. What have I done? How can I do this? This is not what I want to do. I won't be punished by God, right? Ancestor God, am I going to die soon? Ancestor God. Woo, I was wrong. I knew I was wrong. I really knew I was wrong. It's none of my business. Why? I am simply too unlucky. God Ancestor, I didn't know anything before. The giant beast Suanwil was stunned for a moment. Where is there any doubt at the moment? At that moment, the whole body and mind rushed directly up, and while talking, a dazed look gradually appeared on his face. Here is the proof of the ancestral gods that he has been thinking about. On the other side, Fang Fan showed the aura of the true god through majesty of the rage god. Under the double attack, the giant beast Suanwil was completely terrified. At this moment, his lips were trembling, and his breathing gradually became rapid. The restless heart swelled, and gradually, I didn't know what to say at all. Numb, directly numb. Don't worry. Those who do not know are not guilty. The King of Gods is not the kind of God with a small belly. You don't have to worry about it anymore. As long as your attitude of admitting mistakes is good enough. From now on, don't go astray again. If you have the heart, you will belong to the God King from now on. After waiting for the God King to return to God's domain, you can completely return with him. At that time, you will start from the power of the dragon. If His Majesty the King of God takes care of your follow-up skills, then you will be able to take off in full swing. This road is in front of you. How you choose is up to you. The God of Viewer began to follow the good way. Step by step, these various routines are extremely thorough. At this moment, the giant beast Suanwil was arranged clearly. His huge head shook from side to side, and he became confused for a while. Now he doesn't seem to have any choice, does he? He actually took the initiative to attack God King Myangxia just now. He is really beautiful. It's really terrible to do this. After a little bit of feeling, the cold sweat all over the body instantly soaked through the clothes. Thoughts gradually became numb. If you choose to submit to His Majesty the Divine King at this moment, not only will the offending matter be forgotten, but, you will also be able to receive the supreme reward from His Majesty the Divine King. When the God King returns to the domain of the gods, the supreme credit will be all on him. For a while, I couldn't help but fantasize. However, the giant beast Suanwu's head turned a little slowly, so it took longer to think. After all, it's about your own future and destiny. This kind of thing is not something that can be explained clearly in a few words. In this heart, it is natural to follow the comprehensive care. Can he submit? I don't think this big tortoise is a good match. It looks stupid, but it's not stupid. Relying on the God of Viewer, can you fool him? I feel that there is a lot of danger. Boy Fang Fan, I think it's better to prepare early. Why? Otherwise, don't talk to them here. Run away. Let's go to the small world of Shushan Pavilion to avoid danger together. It's better, it's better than carrying it to death in this ghost place. Bai Piao blinked, and then couldn't help but sighed from the side. This guy had some messy thoughts in his heart again. In fact, to put it bluntly, I just want to follow along and do something. It was he who pulled out the hair on the top of the giant beast Suanweo before, so he woke up the giant beast Suanweo, and the giant beast Suanweo was going to attack him right now. Bai Piao is so clever, seeing the danger unfolding before his eyes, so he wanted to run away quickly. That kind of impatience flashed crazily in his mind, and he really couldn't grasp it for a while. The rhythm was messed up, the consciousness collapsed, and the eyes became flickering. Okay. Stop wandering around there, too. What a big deal. Getting so restless. Don't worry, this Suanweo is not a fool, he will make the right choice. Just wait now. Next, just wait for him to come to work. Fang Fan put his arms around his chest, and then said very calmly. If he didn't have this self-confidence, he would have already started to act. Now, there is no need to worry too much. If he handled it well, he might be able to find an extremely powerful assistant for himself in this god's relic. Although the attack power of this giant Suanweo is not good, its defense is invincible. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 3917. My Lord. Please accept my worship. My Lord. It was all my Tiank's fault just now. My Lord, now I know I was wrong. Your Majesty the God King. Please accept me. Tiank is willing to do the work of a dog and a horse. Your Majesty the King of God. The giant Suanweo prostrated himself in front of Fang Fan, and at this moment his posture was extremely low. While talking, his body trembled slightly. At the moment, various breathing sounds gradually came into place, his thoughts were extremely chaotic, and everything was kept silent. This time I felt in place, and it was extremely exciting for a while. Invincible in the moment, conscious, thoughts flying. From the perspective of the giant beast Suanweo, he made an extremely correct choice. In other words, he doesn't really have much choice. If he doesn't choose in this way, how can he choose? In the end, the result is basically the same. Do you really want to die if you don't choose to surrender to the true God? If you really want to die, you can choose not to give in. What's more, according to what His Majesty the Ancestor God said, the young man in front of him is still the incarnation of the Supreme God King. This is an existence more powerful than the Ancestor God. Even the Ancestor God wants to call him his master, so what's wrong with a little Suanweo like him who chooses to submit? Can't continue to fall down. No matter what, he wanted to win a future for himself. Right now, the Divine King Myangxia is in an extremely lonely moment. If he can gain his full trust at this moment and choose to give charcoal in the critical moment, when this Divine King Myangxia returns to the divine realm and fully develops, he will be able to lose his own. Is it good? Wouldn't it be possible to have what you want by then? For a moment, the giant beast Suanweo couldn't help but start to fantasize. Right now, the quickest way to revive the prestige of the Suanweo clan should be to stay in the moment. As long as the moment can be stabilized, these are not problems. The rhythm in all aspects will be able to be fully stable. This time the thoughts are in place, and everything is silent. The more you think about it, the deeper your feelings become. The crazy sense of rhythm is flying in full swing at this moment. Stimulate. Really exciting. It's a blessing in disguise. Although he attacked and offended His Majesty the Divine King Mian without knowing it, but who knows that such a mistake is not a key opportunity for him to take off again. No one can explain this kind of thing clearly, everything is only clear in my heart. For a while, the sound of breathing gradually became rapid, and then he licked his lips frantically, and his eyes shone with a different kind of stimulation. Now just follow the overall flutter. What I want is this feeling. Invincible at the moment, let alone tell anyone. Are you sure you want to surrender to me? The future is uncertain and there are many crises. We may fall into an extreme crisis at any time. The glory of the past has nothing to do with the present. Just like your ancestor God, how glorious he used to be, now he can only be silent here. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, then said indifferently. The moment is also doing the final warning. Your Majesty, as long as my Suanwu clan can regain its glory, I am willing to pay any price. Your Majesty the King of God. Please believe in the perseverance of Tiank, the heir of my Suanwu clan. I, Tiank, will definitely not disappoint the trust of His Majesty the God King. My Tiank is willing to give everything to believe in the God King. I, Tiank, will do my best to assist God King Myangxia and help God King Myangxia return to the realm of God. His Majesty the God King. All kinds of exciting sounds are fully in place, thoughts are gradually flying, and in the depths of the eyes, endless energy is bursting out. That kind of extreme excitement cannot be easily described in a few words. The longing for the world is so delightful and inexplicable. For a while, he was short of breath, his footsteps were swaying, and he was inexplicably excited. At this moment, the attitude shown by the giant beast Suanwu is very sincere. At least at this moment, he feels that he has found an excellent opportunity to revive the Suanwu clan. After sleeping for so long, and escaping for so long, now I finally have the chance to face it. At the beginning, there was no way to sink. If there is an opportunity to revive the glory of the Suanwu clan, why is he unwilling? It's just that in this ghost place, even if you have endless lofty ideals, it's useless. A very realistic problem is in front of us. You can't even find a mother Suanwu, and you can't even carry on the family. How can you talk about revitalizing the Suanwu clan? Is it possible that one person is a clan, and then the sky is blown up? He is going out. He wants to return to God's domain. He is going to look for those beautiful female Suanwu. Then give birth to a litter of little Suanwu. In this way, his path will slowly widen. Stimulate. So exciting. This time I thought to myself, the expression of excitement was vividly displayed. Just wait silently now. The giant beast Suanwu looked at Fang Fan eagerly, and then couldn't help swallowing his saliva. Now he is really afraid that the God King will not agree. Very good. What a heart of a child. Wouldn't it be too unreasonable for me to reject such a childlike heart? You relax your mind. I am willing to sign a contract with you. Fang Fan saw that the road ahead was paved, and then nodded silently. Then it's time for a full harvest. In all aspects, follow and stabilize. That's great. At least you won't suffer from any messy mistakes and omissions. Fang Fan let out a foul breath, his eyes flickered slightly, and then he couldn't help but stretched. The contract of the Rage God. Fang Fan's heart trembled slightly, and then the picture in front of him suddenly changed. The ultimate power of the true God gradually surged to the top of the giant beast Suanwu's head. The giant beast Suanwu's body trembled. Stimulate. What a thrill. Everything I wished, all will be swept away in one go. Ah. These are what I want. Coming. It's really here. I. Tiank. The bloodline inheritor of the Suanwu clan. It will reshape the glory of the Suanwu clan. Everything will follow a comprehensive change. Excited heart, trembling hands, for a moment, the whole person fluttered crazily in front of him. Stimulate. So humming exciting. The contract of the Rage God was fully locked, and then the Tiank of the Suanwu clan became Fang Fan's pet in battle. At this moment, unless he wanted to commit suicide on the spot, he couldn't disobey Fang Fan's will at all. This giant beast turmoil has gradually stabilized. Owner. The giant beast Suanwu lowered his head. At this moment, he, like the god of Ur, called Fang Fan his master. Fang Fan nodded silently, his gaze shifted slightly. Everything is safe. This is what he wants. Next, it is good to develop in an all-round way according to the established pace. Tiank, do you know that there is a beautiful palace here? Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3918. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and then said directly, his eyes flickering. Originally, they were like headless chickens, wandering around blindly. Now Tiank of the Suanwu tribe has also joined his camp, so he is all his own. Those who are close to the water first get the moon. Naturally, such resources should be well grasped. In any case, this Suanwu Tiank has been in this relic of God long enough, and he is also an aborigine. Naturally, he knew more about the situation. Ah! Exquisite palace. What? What? Suanwu Tiank was stunned for a moment, then turned his eyes, his thoughts fluttered, and his expression changed, especially real. It feels weird right now. From the beginning to the end, there are still some things that are not quite grasped. The rhythm still seemed a little chaotic. It's, a palace made of divine stones. All are divine stones. It's whether there are such buildings around here. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes and said directly. The thoughts are flying to the extreme, and the thoughts are stabbing forward little by little. Master, are you talking about the Futu Palace? If you want to talk about the palace built by the sacred stone, there should be only the Futu Palace. But that place can't go, really can't go. That place is horrible. Whirring. Master, it's dangerous. It's too dangerous. There's something mysterious in there. Those who enter will die. Owner. The giant beast Suanwu shook his rough body, and when he spoke, his eyes couldn't help flickering. The fright and uneasiness flickering in his eyes was very real, and everything was expressed without words. At the moment, everything is progressing in an all-round way according to the established rhythm. The giant beast Suanwu itself is a very powerful existence, and what can make him feel so frightened and disturbed is naturally impossible to be an ordinary existence. For a time, many things actually showed what they had. The crisis in it is shown in place virtually. Futu Palace. Perhaps we are looking for this Buddha Palace. Is there anything strange about this Pagoda Palace? Why can't you go to that place? Tiank, please speak clearly. Well, don't be so ambiguous. Fa En narrowed his eyes, looking very interested. If this Pagoda Palace is really the palace he saw before that was completely built from the sacred stone, the mission of this trip is considered to be half completed. When they get close to the Pagoda Palace, the Pagoda Palace can be dismantled at that time, and then transported back directly. These materials are all divine stones. Relatively speaking, these are also what Fang Fan needs. Master, it's not that I'm scaremongering, but this Pagoda Palace is really extraordinary. In the past few years, it has been rumored that there are countless treasures in this Buddha Palace, and all the countless big monsters have followed. They all want to seize treasures in the Pagoda Palace. But in the end, they all died without exception. The only few survivors also went crazy, and finally died out in this cruel world. All in all, it's a very ominous place. Before, there were countless proud sons of the demon clan who didn't believe in this evil, and wanted to rush over to have a look, but in the end, without exception, the ending was very tragic. Master, this Buddha Palace really can't get close. As soon as you get close, you will definitely die. Master. You must trust me. Master, I won't lie to you. Master. Let's not think about this Pagoda Palace anymore. It is true that I have heard that there are treasures in the pagoda palace before, but that was all in the past. Now, what it is like now is completely unclear. Owner. Feelings of fear gathered in all directions, and the sound of breathing gradually became rapid. Such an agitation suddenly burst out in his mind, and he didn't know what to say for a while. The forehead was covered with cold sweat, the lips were pursed in place, and everything was said without saying anything, and it seemed very appropriate right now. The giant Suanweo touched its huge head to the ground, and then slammed it on the ground frantically, as if it wanted to use this method to completely stop Fang Fan. Invisibly, it also shows the purest heart in my heart. Reality. And clear. It is more than words. There is nothing else to say about the others. This time of thoughts, directly followed by silence. Steady. This wave is completely stable. That's basically it. Very comfortable, very exciting. Master, Tiank will not lie. Perhaps there is something mysterious about this Futu palace. This is most likely a cover left by the true God who created this place on purpose. The purpose is to deceive people. Master, how about, or forget it? This does seem a little thrilling. Master, you are a body of gold, so naturally you can't take risks at this moment. The god of Doer controlled the body of flames and rushed over, and then followed suit to persuade him. As a former true god, the god of Doer naturally knows the nature of his colleagues. The so-called true god may be stronger in combat power. But if you expect them to have any virtue, it's a little difficult. Just like in the real god's cave before, the so-called true god's opportunity set by the god of disaster is actually a pit in the end, just to snatch you away from Paris at the right time. If you are not careful, you may fall into the pit. When the time comes, you will definitely die if you go to the bottom of the pit. With such a pattern placed there, naturally there should be something in my heart. Can't we just die there continuously? In the end, wouldn't this life have to be exploited to the extreme? In the end, it is nothing but playing. This rhythm can't be stabilized, everything is useless. Come here, let's go and have a look. If it's really a conspiracy, it doesn't matter, just break the conspiracy and then demolish this pagoda palace. Anyway, I am optimistic about it, and only the Futu palace itself. What Wei Wei wants is the bricks and stones used to build the pagoda palace. These are all divine stones. Fang Fan squinted his eyes and reiterated again. From his point of view, all he cares about is always these things. This time, the thoughts gradually stabilized in my mind, and everything was kept silent. There are thousands of thoughts, and all kinds of consciousness erupt in an all-round way. For a while, the sound of breathing gradually became rapid, and the excitement was hard to express in words. Stimulate. Excited to fly? At that time, just follow Tang Fei directly. Ah! Destroy the pagoda palace. Want bricks? The giant beast Suanweo shook its huge head, looking a little dazed for a moment. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3919. Why does His Majesty feel so artistic? What does this mean? People fell in love with this Buddha palace because of the treasures of the gods inside. And in order to achieve what you want, keep fighting to the end. But when Fang Fan came here, everything changed. Become different. So different. The giant beast Suanweo was speechless. Is there still a lack of God stone under the crown of the God King? Isn't this God King's mess a bit too miserable? In all aspects of this, should I be more steady? Cough. Tiank. The God King needs to reshape the God body, needs to return to the peak, and needs a lot of God stones. That's why I'm going to look for the Buddha palace made of this sacred stone. As long as this Buddha palace can be demolished, many divine stones will naturally be obtained. At that time, the strength of God King Mian will be able to go up to a higher level. A lie needs countless lies to fulfill. As it is now. At the moment, the god of Dur can only continue to talk about it. When normal people hear what is said here, they will probably be a little skeptical. You can be forgiven for saying this once or twice. But 3 or 4 times, talking about this topic all the time, isn't that a bit too much? What kind of nonsense is this trying to express? But obviously the giant Suanwu is not human. So you can't restrain him with the thinking mode of a normal person. In his theoretical consciousness, the ancestor god is the sky, and what the ancestor god said is correct, and the ancestor god cannot deceive him. After all, he has been alone since he made his voice, and no one has told others about his sinister heart. So in this regard, he has always had some shortcomings. Now this shortboard is more and more revealed. If you can't grasp one, you have to turn off the flame completely. This thing is really going to have an accident. Things are a bit chaotic right now on all fronts. For a moment, there were a lot of thoughts, and everything in the depths of the eyes flashed in an all-round way. It is more than words. At the moment, I really can't grasp it. Unable to hold on, it explodes. I see. It turns out that the purpose of looking for the Futu Palace is to raise the God Stone. I remember that millions of years ago, I seem to have accumulated some divine stones. I just don't know where to put it. Your Majesty the Ancestor God, Your Majesty the God King, please wait for a while, I will go and look for it. The giant beast Suanwu trembled, the editor was talking, and then began to sway left and right. Followed by a pair of eyes revealing a trace of confusion. Sleep too long. A lot of memory problems followed, and it's normal to be unable to remember for a while. After all, this sleeps for millions of years at every turn, who can resist it? Boom. Bang bang bang. Once the huge body of the giant Suanwu moved, it would naturally shake the earth. Immediately, the giant beast Suanwu began to dig holes around it crazily. It seems to be here. No, it seems to be here again. Hey. Where did you put it? How come I don't remember it? Here. No. That's right here. It's even more wrong. So anxious. Did someone poach it for me? Bang bang bang. While the giant beast Suanwu was looking for it, he couldn't help but started talking to himself. The astonishment on his face this time was beyond words, and the look of confusion was vividly displayed in the twinkling of his eyes. It is more than words. The more I think about it this time, the more unnatural it feels. There are thousands of thoughts, messy consciousness, and the rhythm is spreading out little by little. Feeling quite uncomfortable for a while. For it. Should we do something? Or search with him? This big guy said he hid a batch of divine stones. If we can find these sacred stones, we will take off. Such a good opportunity, don't miss it. Cough. Fang fanboy. This thing is divided into half. Even if there is only 1 or 2 god stones, it's blood money. A complete sacred stone is equivalent to 10,000 fragments of the sacred stone. Damn. This level has improved again. Fang fanboy. You have something to say. Why? Don't be silent. I'm so uncomfortable. Fang fanboy, Fang fanboy. The murmuring voice followed, and various rhythms followed. There are endless flashes of light in the eyes, and the consciousness is stabbing in place bit by bit. Stimulate. Take off. Who the hell can stand it? When he saw the fragments of the divine stone and the star core, Bai Biao's eyes had to shine. What's more, at this moment, I heard a higher level coin like the divine stone. This place is so big, where are you going to find it? One person hides something, and thousands of people search for it. Tianke can dig a deep pit with a radius of tens of feet with one claw. How can you find it if you can't find it at such a speed? Hold on. It's fine if you can't find it. Let's go to the Futuk Palace first. Anyway, these big things can't be confused. Things have to be dealt with bit by bit. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, his thoughts gradually became chaotic. The corners of the mouth raised silently, everything was silent. 1 hour. 2 hours. 3 hours. Fang Fan's patience was fading little by little. Just when he was about to call Tianke to leave together. Found it? It's this. It's this. Ah. Ah. Finally found. It turned out to be hidden in my shell. After so many years, grass has grown here. No wonder I couldn't find it no matter how hard I looked. The giant beast Suanwu lay on the ground, and then rubbed against it, followed by one after another of the sacred stones falling down. At first, Fang Fan didn't pay much attention to it, thinking that there might only be dozens of sacred stones, worth hundreds of thousands of fragments of sacred stones, which is better than nothing. But gradually, Fang Fan's eyes suddenly changed, his breathing gradually became more rapid, and the speed of his lips twitching increased in an all-round way, everything was unspoken. Take off. Followed directly to take off. Stimulate. Excitingly don't want it? At the moment, bear with the hammer. Thoughts, directly followed by the whole flying. Crazy thoughts are erupting at this moment. Annihilate everything in the explosion. I am so deeply touched, let alone tell it to someone. For a while, the break was in place. Excitingly don't want it? Invincible at the moment, the idea is bursting. 1,000 pieces. 2,000 pieces. 5,000. 8,000. 9,000. 10,000. It's over 10,000. A total of, more than 11,300 divine stones. Grass. Get rich. Oh shit. Local tycoon. Day. 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 Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3920. Bai Piao swears directly. At this moment, his eyes widened, and his breathing gradually became rapid. It is difficult to express in words the excitement and anxiety. For a moment, my thoughts exploded. Stimulate. So exciting. More than 11,000 divine stones. It is equivalent to 110 million fragments of the divine stone. More than 100 million. Hundreds of millions. This is the first time Bai Piao has seen such a large amount of wealth, and it is actually the same for Fang Fan. It is really impossible to say that there is no feeling at all. At this moment, there was a flash of infinite energy in the eyes, and all kinds of thoughts erupted in an all-round way, everything was silent. Such a feeling is indeed difficult to burst out directly for a while. Exciting, extremely exciting. At this moment, his eyes are flickering, his eyes are erratic, and his body is trembling to the extreme. You actually have so many divine stones. Tianke, you can do it? Where did you get it? Fang Fan also raised his eyes in surprise, and then couldn't help but look at the giant beast Suanwu several times. Having such wealth all of a sudden, I feel a little bit exciting in my heart. This time the thoughts are in place, and everything is silent. It's too exciting. I don't know anymore. Master, I will hand everything over to you. I hope it will help you shape your body. Hey hey hey. The giant beast Suanwu looked very simple and honest. Fang Fan opened his mouth, and now he couldn't bear to continue lying. This giant Suanwu is so simple and honest. He never thought of cheating or anything in his heart. It made me feel an unbearable feeling in my heart. Fang Fan exhaled a breath of foul air, his mind was full of thoughts, his consciousness was in a mess, and there was a strange light shining in the depths of his eyes, and everything was said in silence. With such a feeling, it becomes more and more appropriate. So real, so real. For a while, I really couldn't grasp it. This rhythm also loosened up little by little. So, thank you very much. I really need this batch of divine stones right now. I'll pay you back when I have some forgiveness. Take it as a temporary loan from me. Fang Fan nodded, and then said very sincerely. When the giant beast Suan Wu heard this, he immediately looked panic-stricken. Owner. Your Majesty the King of God. Please, please be sure to accept my offering. This is a little bit of my heart. If you don't accept it, then, you are dissatisfied with me. Your Majesty, it is a great opportunity for Tian to enshrine and honor you. Why, how dare you ask you to return it? Please, God King Mian, please don't say that again. Woo, whoop. I can't bear it, I really can't bear it. Please don't say anything, Your Majesty the King of God. Gudong. On the side, Suan Wuetian shook his body frantically. While speaking, there was a different kind of brilliance in his eyes. At this moment, the surging feeling in my heart has reached the extreme, and it is difficult to evacuate for a while. For the giant beast Suan Wu, Fang Fan said that he would return it to him, which was a kind of dissatisfaction with him. Immediately felt terrified and uneasy, and the whole person was paralyzed with fright. How dare you say half a word of nonsense at the moment? There were streaks of cold sweat dripping down from his forehead, and the sound of breathing gradually became rapid, everything was kept silent. Almost didn't collapse, almost went cold. Stimulate. It's too exciting. Once it fails to stabilize, it will completely collapse. Forward. Seeing such a fierce reaction from the giant beast Suan Wu, Fang Fan also didn't expect it. He opened his mouth for a while, and really didn't know how to answer. This thing is quite confusing. All kinds of messy thoughts swirled in his mind, and for a while, the thoughts fluttered in an all-round way, and everything was silent. If you can't grasp it, you have to follow up with a full-scale stab. This rhythm is even more chaotic. Messy, I don't know what to say. For a while, the rhythm was a little tense. Once the consciousness is messed up, it is not so easy to pick it up again. Master, the Suan Wu clan has such an honest temperament. Don't embarrass them. Just accept these divine stones. If you talk about returning it to him in the future, you will really scare this guy to death. The flame body where the god of arrow was located couldn't help but sprinted up and down, and then turned around. Fang Fan nodded, and stopped pressing now. In fact, there are 10 big legions under his command, these big stomach kings, how could there be a free god stone? What I said just now was actually just a polite remark. Tink. Today's feelings, I will remember. Consider that I owe you a favor. Fang Fan nodded, and then said directly. 1 says 1, and 2 says 2. On this point, it is very obvious. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, his mind was full of thoughts, his consciousness was chaotic, and everything was kept silent. The current rhythm is gradually following the overall stability. Overall, no problem. It develops in an all-round way according to the established rhythm, but it has a different rhythm. Stay steady, and you will be able to take off in an all-round way. Master, now that we have the divine stone, there is no need to go to the Buddha palace to take risks, right? The giant beast Suan Wu shook his head, then returned to the original topic. Fang Fan groaned, his eyes flickering. On this matter he had not yet made up his mind. Some things cannot be judged prematurely. I still have to go. Who would think too much of the divine stone? Don't worry, if it's really impossible, I will leave as soon as possible. It is absolutely impossible to follow the tragic ending of the predecessors. Fang Fan pondered for a moment, then said directly. In this regard, he still has a little self-confidence that belongs to him alone. If this can't be done, and if you use a hammer, won't everything collapse? It's nothing, it just feels like a joke. It doesn't mean anything, just bouncing around. Now he holds more than 11,000 divine stones, which is equivalent to more than 100 million divine stone fragments. The last time the Protoss bought the bottom, the inner library of the City Lord's mansion of Tianlin City, the upper city of the Protoss, was only 25 million pieces of divine stones. Unexpectedly, it didn't take long before it hit a new high. This relic of the gods really came from the right place. Fang Fan licked his lips, and the sound of breathing gradually became rapid, and he felt inexplicably irritated at the moment. Such a state of mind, followed by a comprehensive expansion for a while, is inexplicably joyful. Excited. Directly follow the full flying, everything is in the air. It takes about 11 million to 12 million pieces of divine stones to promote a legion of Supreme Saint Realm to quasi-demigod level, and about 1,100 to 1,200 pieces of divine stones are converted into divine stones. Between. If you want to promote a quasi-demigod army to a weak demigod, you need more than 100 million god stone fragments, that is, more than 10,000 god stones.